Hello everyone, my name is Ashish and you're watching on the Web Guide YouTube channel. In this video, we are going to learn about higher order functions. So what are higher order functions? Higher order functions are the functions that take other functions as arguments or return functions as their results. Taking an other function as an argument is often referred as callback function because it is called back by the higher order function. We are going to see this in a lot more detail. So without wasting any time, let's get started. If you have not yet subscribed to our channel, please hit the subscribe button and also the notification bell icon so that you don't miss any of our videos. As usual, I'm using the VS Code text editor with live server extension, and in the browser I have my console open where you can see the results of the examples. In JavaScript, we have many higher order functions. In this video, we are going to learn about the map, filter and reduce functions. So when the map function is used with an array, it takes a function as an argument. After that, it executes this function onto each element of the array. Let's see this by an example. So let's define a new array, say ARR1, and we'll give it values from 1 to 5. Now we'll define another array, ARR2, and we'll operate the map function on the ARR1 function. And inside this, we'll pass a function with a parameter of val, and we'll say val into 2. Now, as you must have guessed, the map function will take all the elements of ARR1 and then multiply all the elements with 2 and store the values in ARR2. So if we log ARR2 on the console, we can see that all the elements of ARR1 has been multiplied with 2 and it has been stored in the ARR2. Now the function inside the map function should have at least one argument, that is the value which corresponds to the elements of the array on which the map is being operated. In this case, we are operating the map function on ARR1. So to store the elements of ARR1, we need one parameter. However, it can also take another parameter, that is the index of these elements. So now let's create another function with two parameters. We'll first comment this out. And now let's say let ARR1 is equal to 1, 2, and 3. Now let's create another variable ARR2 to store the result of the map function, and we'll say ARR1.map, and inside the map function we have to provide a function, and to that function, we will give two arguments. The first one will be for the value of the elements of ARR1 and the other one will be for the index for the elements of ARR1. So we'll say val, and next one, let's suppose index. You can name these arguments whatever you want. Now if I just return this, so I'll use this template literal syntax, and let's print index, and then let's print the value. Now if we log this onto the console, let's see what we have got. And you can see that the index gives the index of all the elements of ARR1 and the val variable gives the value of the corresponding elements. The next function which we are going to see is the filter function. The filter function, just like the map function, takes a function as an argument. But instead of performing an operation on each of the elements of the corresponding array, it takes a condition, and as per the condition, it filters the elements of the corresponding array. Let's see this by an example. So we'll create an array, say ages, and let's give this values from 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50. Now let's create another variable to store the output from the filter method, and we'll say age above 20. Now we can say ages.filter, and here we have to provide the function with a condition. So we'll say val, and here we'll say val is greater than 20. Now if we log this variable onto the console, as you must have guessed, we will get all the values more than 20. So you can see that we have got 30, 40 and 50. Again, for the function which is provided inside the filter method, the first argument is compulsory, which corresponds to each of the elements on which the filter method is being operated. However, we can also pass a second argument which will correspond to the index of the array on which the filter method is being operated. So let's do that. Suppose we want to filter out all the ages which is above 20 and have an index more than 2. Let's see how we can do that. So we'll say let a is equal to ages.filter, and here we have to pass a function with two arguments. So the first argument will be the value of the corresponding array, so that will be val, and the next argument will be the index of the corresponding array, that is the ages array. We'll say value greater than 20, and we'll use the AND operator, and here we'll say index more than 2. And if we log this onto the console, you can guess what we'll get. You can see we have got 40 and 50 because this is index 0, this is index 1, this is index 2, and we want the values for more than index 2. So this is index 3 and index 4. We have got these results and they are also greater than 20. So this is how the filter method works. The next is the reduce method. The reduce method is a bit different from the map and filter. What happened in map and filter that we were taking an array, and on that we were operating the map function, and after the operation we used to get a different array. So basically we were giving an array as an input and we were also getting an array as the output. But in the reduce method, it takes the array as an input and it gives a reduced value. That means it operates on that array and it manipulates the elements of the array as per our given condition and gives us a single value. So you give an array, you get a single value. Let's see this in action. We'll take our ages array for the example. So let's say we want to add all these ages. So what we can do is we can say we'll first create a variable to store that sum. So we'll say sum of ages, and we'll say ages dot reduce. Now the syntax of reduce method is first it will take a function and next it will take a starting value. Now this function here takes two mandatory arguments. First is the accumulator or the total. So what this does is it stores the computed value in each iteration, and the second is the current value which corresponds to the each element of the array on which we are operating, in this case the ages array. So let's remove this and write a proper function. Here we can say, for example, ACC for accumulator, and we'll say VAL for value, and again I will be using the arrow function syntax, and here we'll say ACC plus value. Sorry, ACC plus val, and instead of the starting value, here we'll provide the starting value as 0. Again, remember that this is optional. If you remove this starting value, then it will automatically be 0. Just to show you, I'll make it 10 actually, so that you can see what's happening. Now, if we log this onto the console, let's see what we get. I'll say sum of ages. And you can see that we have got 160. Now if we add all these values, it should be 150. So 10 plus 20 is 30, 30 plus 30 is 60, 60 plus 40, 100, and then 150. And plus the starting value, that is 10, and we have got 160. If we remove this starting value, then we will get 150. So this is how the reduce method is used. Now there are other higher order functions as well, but they all work in more or less the same way. It is very important to understand the higher order functions because we are going to start the React tutorial series on our channel, and if you are not thorough with these concepts, you will not be able to grasp React very easily. You will face a lot of difficulties in doing that. So make sure you practice them well. I hope you liked the video. See you in the next video. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.